UFC 292. MadLab's favorite, Aljamain Sterling versus his least favorite, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Pay-per-view card, big card, Boston. I'm excited. This is a card I've been waiting for. This is a card that MadLab's been waiting for because MadLab is big on Aljamain Sterling. So really interested. I mean, I know what he's going to say about the Funk Master in this fight. So, but I'm going to challenge him a little bit here on this fight. Anyway, so are we going straight from the top to the bottom and then into some of the news, or we're going to go the opposite way today?
No, we're going to the news.
All right, let's go. What do you got?
So
he told me absolutely nothing.
I told him nothing. There was no show notes for this.
No show notes.
Nothing.
Going
Zero.
in blind. I've been out of commission. That's all right, though. I don't need no notes. I don't need no help.
So,
all right.
Look, I want to talk about right out of the gate. Now, this is the honest to God truth. He didn't get to watch the fights last week.
Correct? But I did watch the replay of the fight you told me to watch, which was the Cub Swanson fight.
Okay, so now he had no idea. Okay,
I knew nothing.
Idea the whole spectacle that was going on Twitter and stuff like that. I picked Cub Swanson to win, but I'm very unbiased with my scoring. You know that.
Of course.
Like, I'll literally come out my Discord. I'll say, well, I'll do like WELP. Well, we're not getting this one, guys. Like, I judged and scored. I scored that card before the cards even came out to Swanson. When a lot of guys in the Discord did too, believe it or not, like Mike Bing Bang Boing and all those guys who score. And when I was watching the first round, I came in Discord and I was like, all right, look, I think I give that round to Cub. Like, it was a close round, but I think I'm going to give it to Cub. Second round, I gave it to Dawodu. Third round was an extremely close round, but I found myself giving it to Cub, and there was no bias there. But I will say this. If they came in and said split decision, or they came in and said that Hakeem Dawodu won the fight, I would have been like, you know what? These are the little things you have to do to win a close fight like that. You gotta. He didn't do enough. Like, he didn't do enough to win the fight. So I got no problem with Dawodu winning that fight, bro. It was a fucking Twitter explosion. The biggest robbery of 2023.
I don't know why.
So I asked him to watch the fight when he got home. I said, do me a favor, just watch the fight and give me your honest opinion. And he scored it the same way I scored it.
I saw Cub. I took Cub in the first round. Whole fight was round two, to me, was clearly Hakeem. Hakeem, right?
Round two, yeah. Hakeem Dawodu, yeah.
The third round was a tough round to score, but because of the hard shots early in the round by Cub, that he really hit him good, some of the best shots of the whole fight, I gave him the slight edge, but I would have been fine.
Fine, you would have been fine either way.
Split, yes. I was expecting split, not 29-28.
Yeah, I was expecting a split.
I was surprised that it was 29-28 across the board, but I don't know why people would have been so shocked about that.
Bro,
what kind of robbery?
I've never seen a Twitter.
It was just a close fight.
And here's the thing. It doesn't even matter if Dawodu won the fight. Even if he won the fight, it was a horrible bet. It was a horrible bet. Like, to bet that kind of juice against somebody like Swanson.
He was, what, minus 240?
It was crazy. It was a crazy, crazy line. So it wasn't even a good bet, like, either way you look at it. Because the fact of the matter is, Dawodu is not a volume machine. He's had knockouts on the regional circuit. He does have power, but he's not a knockout guy. He's a pop shotter against a guy in Cub Swanson who, yeah, he's got aging legs, but the guy's not a plus 240 dog. No way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it was a bad. But, bro, it just goes to show, like, how bad. Bro, so then people are throwing out the media scorecards. Well, look how they scored it.
Who cares? So
then you know what I did? I went back and said, yeah, look at the media scorecards. 4 people had Dos Anjos winning the fight.
Over Luque?
Yeah. So that's the scoring for you. So you have the scoring went to Cub Swanson on the media scorecards, but the same media people, 4 of them scored it for Dos Anjos. I mean, that's how bad they are.
That's how it goes.
So your official statement though is what? 29-28 Swanson?
Yeah, that's how I scored. Not because you picked them. I mean, it doesn't matter to me if you picked them or not. I watched it and I said that was a close round, but I give it a slight edge to Cub Swanson.
Yeah.
Because of those early hard shots that he caught him in the beginning of the third.
Now, did you end up catching the Navarrete and Valdez fight?
No, I didn't watch it yet, man.
So, guys,
I gotta watch that fight.
I went on Twitter and I gave you guys fair warning. I said like a lot of guys jump into boxing for name value.
Yeah.
There was no really name value here unless you know boxing.
This is like a Vasquez-Marquez kind of fight, Morales kind of fight.
They were there.
Yeah,
they were all there. They were all there. So anyway, I told you guys like an hour before the fight. I said, listen, guys, if you want to see like a violent fight, like real Mexican pride, bro, what a fight, dude.
I gotta watch it.
What a fight.
I forgot to watch it.
And then Tim Bradley has to come in and ruin the whole thing, dude. He comes in like the announcers, everybody's
Desert
like,
Storm.
listen, I can't. We are firemen. He said that to Bradley, wasn't it? Yeah. We are firemen. We go into the fire.
I love it.
So Bradley comes on the thing afterwards. Well, war. I mean, standing ovation almost every round, bro. Like that's how good of a fight it was.
I gotta watch it. Was it the Zone or was it ESPN?
It was Showtime.
Okay, I got Showtime.
So almost every round, bro, like standing ovation. No, ESPN, dude. It was free. It was ESPN. We made it even better. And Tim Bradley comes in and announces like, bro, this is Brett Morales all over again. Like we're gonna see a great. And he's like, I don't want to see it. They're like, what? He's like, I've been in these spots before. He's like, look at his face and look at his face. And they're like, what does that have to do with anything? Like some guys cut differently. Like, what are you talking about? And he was literally like blowing it all up, saying he did not want to see that.
Makes no sense.
Makes zero sense, dude. Zero.
I actually watched almost finally all of the De La Hoya.
I don't like it. I didn't watch any of it yet, so don't tell me.
Part 2 was better because they got into more of the stuff that because a lot of part 1 was the mother, this and that. But you know, part 2, I remember who his first loss was to, right? After he was like undefeated his whole career, he had his first loss.
To who?
Come on, man.
Bro,
you know.
Bro, I'm sure I do know. What, not Trinidad, was it?
It was Trinidad.
Oh, was it Trinidad? That was his first loss?
First loss. But remember how that fight went. That was the fight with De La Hoya.
No, Trinidad wasn't his first loss. Oh, you're right. Trinidad was his first loss.
That was the fight that De La Hoya was dominating him.
Yeah.
And decided to start running around the ring for rounds 10, 11, 12. Because he thought he was up 9-0.
He thought he was coasting.
He thought he was coasting. And he was so mad at the end. And they're following him back to the locker room. And he's like, that was I schooled him. I can't believe it. I fucking schooled him. What the fuck happened here? How to judge,
you can't leave it into the hands of the judges.
Right, you can't leave it in the hands. He could have easily won the rest of that fight, like all 3 of those rounds. And then after that's when the downturn started. Then he lost again to him. And then like then Mosley.
Yeah.
That's when Mosley just started coming up.
Before Trinidad.
He didn't. I thought he did too. He beat Julio Cesar Chavez twice. His second time,
he was older though.
Very convincingly the second time. But and then Mosley destroyed him.
Mosley
destroyed him.
Destroyed
that's when Mosley just started coming alive.
But that's when De La Hoya was kind of.
Yeah, and then he fought Mayweather like after that. I mean, you know what? I don't know if he fought Mayweather in his prime. I don't know if he still would have beat him or not. But De La Hoya was good, bro.
I don't know, dude. I think De La Hoya in his prime, he might have.
Dude, he was really good, man.
Really good, bro. He was great.
You know, watching that documentary, you really forgot like the Golden Boy and what that stood for, and what an animal he was, man. He was banging girls like hundreds of them behind his wife's back and the kids. And
well, how about this though?
He was nuts.
The thing with him was when you saw him. He was like one of the first guys that like was so marketable from like a female perspective, but he was still a dog in the ring.
Yeah,
like you knew this. He's a pretty face and everything, but this kid's gonna.
He had that feminine way about him, even the way he talked.
Yeah.
But once he got in the ring, bro, he was a killer. That's why the girls all he was this nice guy, the Golden Boy. You know what I mean? I thought they could have did a better job with the documentary.
Well, I thought it was going to be a lot lot better. I didn't get to see it yet.
After you see, tell me what you think. It was just slow.
So, did they talk about the lie?
I got about 30 minutes left. They're long. There's 2 of them, and they're like an hour and 20 minutes each.
This is during the Olympics, though. They would have been talking.
We're talking about when he cross-dressed.
No, when they did the whole thing with the lie with his father with the Olympics.
I don't know. I didn't see that part.
Apparently, the whole thing was a big sham. It was a big lie. He's like, I did this for my father, or the death of my mother, or something like that. And it was a complete sham.
No, that's what he said the whole time. That it wasn't for the death of his mother in the documentary.
Yeah, but he said it was a lie.
Well, he said he hated his mother because she used to beat the piss out of him.
Yeah, she goes, my final request is that you do this for me. And he's like, I did it for my mom. He's like, but I didn't do it for my mother.
Yeah, he did. He did say that. He did say that.
So,
but I want to see what you think about it. It's okay.
You see the Manziel documentary?
No,
bro.
No. I watched the Jake Paul one. I got to watch the Johnny Football one.
It's good, dude.
Yeah, I got to watch it.
He was a degenerate, bro.
Johnny Football,
bro. He was a literal. I didn't think he was that bad.
He had the talent so good that imagine he had the work ethic with it. He actually could have been a good pro.
Yeah.
You know, sad.
All right, we'll do some more news after this, but let's get into the.
All right, let's go. Right from the top.
Right from the top.
All right, listen, MadLab has been waiting for
We're going to spend some time on this one because I'm hot.
All right, so here's where I'm at with this. We got no notes. I'm not going to talk about the wins. We know what happened. We know O'Malley beat Jan. We know it was a controversial decision. I will say this. When I watched the O'Malley-Jan fight live, after the fight was over, I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe what a robbery. Media cards. Every single person had Jan winning. Controversy everywhere. And even after, in the cage out, they asked O'Malley, he looked like he shouldn't have lost the fight in his post-fight interview. I watched the fight 2 days later again, and I was like, holy shit, that was actually a lot closer than I thought. Mm-hmm. After I still think Jan won, but after I watched it again, I was like, not only did I say, wow, that's a lot closer than I thought, but I also said, wow, you know what? O'Malley can hang. I said O'Malley can hang with the big guys. That's how I felt after the second time. I was like, wow, you know, the kid's pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? I still think he lost that fight, but I mean, it's like, wow, he really showed.
Now, are you not going to take into account that he grabbed the cage like 50 times?
See, I didn't notice that, and you told me that this morning. Like I'd like to watch that video.
Every time he was in
I didn't know he kept
and
grabbing.
the ref never said nothing.
I'm sure Luongo is all over that, and they're already talking to, you know what I mean?
Who?
Like, it's Aljamain's coach.
Oh yeah.
Watch his fingers. Watch him.
He's all over the cage.
Yeah. See, I didn't see that part of it. Anyway, all right. O'Malley is. Does the UFC want O'Malley to win this fight?
Bro,
maybe.
Don't even allude to where I think.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. But like, he's the guy. He's the rainbow here. He's the sugar show. He's the marketable guy. You know, Aljo is horrible at talking shit. He's the worst in the press conferences.
Worst.
But bro, this guy. He is the human backpack, man. And once he gets on your back, like, there is no letting up. He's a great striker, too. As long as he didn't do what he did in that first Jan fight when he came out way too hot and gassed himself out. Remember, he threw like 1,000,000 punches in the first 2 rounds, gassed himself out, and he ended up winning by the DQ. But, I mean, he was going to lose that fight because he gassed himself out. He played that wrong. You know what I mean? I think he's, you know, by far and superior. I mean, he's one of the best grapplers in the whole UFC as it is. You know, I'm gonna pick Aljo here. I can't pick O'Malley to win this fight. I'm just very curious on how it's gonna go. I'm just very curious if he's able to stuff maybe the first 1 or 2 takedown attempts in the first round.
I'm sure he's gonna stuff a couple
in the beginning, because if Aljo gets on a real early, dude, it's just going to be a long night for O'Malley, bro. And it's going to just keep happening over and over and maybe even cause an early submission. I don't know. He's not good on the ground. Once he's on the ground, he's a striker. He's a great striker, but there's a lot of guys that are picking O'Malley here, bro.
I can't wait.
And one of them is not me.
I know.
One of them is not me.
So how do you think it's going to be? What do you think? How do you think it's going to play out? You're picking Aljo. So Aljo, how? 5 rounds.
Man, tough. I want to say Aljo by submission if he's going to be inside the distance. I can't see this thing going the distance, man. I mean, I can't see O'Malley. I can't see O'Malley avoiding the submission just over time. Mm-hmm. I can't see him just avoiding his neck over and over. If this goes how I think it's going to go and how you think it's going to go, and Aljo's going to just keep taking him down and get his back, I can't see him just somehow being able to continue to avoid going to sleep. I just can't see it. Yeah. So I think it's going to end inside the distance, and if it's going to end inside the distance, it's going to end with Aljo by submission.
All right.
That's what I think.
Well, that's my pick, but I want to get into deep now how ridiculous some of these people are. All right, so we're going to talk. This is like the Larry Merchant thing now where the camera just goes slow. All right. So, listen, I'm just going to let you guys know this right now. You're probably going to see 1,000 different shows and 1,000 different tweets and 1,000 different podcasts talking about this fight. And you're probably going to see 1,000 different people picking Sean O'Malley to win this fight. And I'm just here to tell you that that is the most asinine prediction that I've heard in a long time. And can it happen? 1,000%. It's MMA. Anything can happen. But anybody picking Sean O'Malley to win this fight, they're doing 2 things. 1, they could say, I told you so. Or 2, they can say, he was supposed to lose. Because there's no possible way that you can pick him to win this fight. There's zero. There's zero possible way you can pick him outside of Aljo has an extremely off night. He completely gasses out. He decides to stand and have a jock measuring contest and trade with him. But if you're a person of film and eye test and track records and numbers and all these things, you just cannot pick Sean O'Malley with confidence and actually take your hard-earned money and put it down on him. Not unless he's like a plus 500. Then I'd say, you know what? Take a shot and a prayer on it.
Do you think that O'Malley has any advantages on the feet?
On the feet, that's it. That's it. Zero else.
How much of an advantage do you think he has on the feet?
Here's the thing with this. I'm going to get into that. So let's go through it. Grappling. Let's just go through them all right now. Grappling. We shouldn't even have to debate this.
Of course.
There's people out there that are saying he can grapple with Aljo. These are the people.
Not many people in the whole UFC can. Never mind him.
Okay, so there's people that are saying that he can grapple with Aljo. He's a black belt under Matt Sarah. There's not a shot in hell. He trains with Rob Delavilli every day. Okay, so that's out. Okay, experience. Let's go through their experience real quick, okay? These are all the people that bet against him every single fight and still don't give him credit. His last one was Marlon Moraes in 2017. He beat Brett Johns. He beat Cody Stamann. He beat Jimmy Rivera. He beat Pedro Munez. He beat Corey Sandhagen. He beat Peter Yan twice. He beat TJ Dillashaw. He beat Henry Cejudo. All in a row, and he's still not getting the credit that he deserves. But your boy,
and he submitted Sandhagen too.
He submitted Sandhagen. Okay, but your boy Sean O'Malley. Let's look at his track record. Okay, he beat Terrion Ware, Andre Sukumtath, Jose Quinones, an aging Eddie Wineland, Marlon Vera. We notice what happens there. Thomas Almeida, Chris Montino. Remember that kid?
Yeah, Montino.
Yeah, Montino.
The kid who lasted somehow.
Holly and Paiva. He no contest to Pedro Munoz, and he lost to Peter Yan, but he won to Peter Line. So basically, the best guy that he beat, in my opinion, is Thomas Almeida.
Yeah, because Munoz had ended with that eye poke
with the
early,
eye poke,
and then against Cheeto beat him.
Yeah.
When he hurt his foot.
Right. Okay. So we'll take that off the table. So we already know level of competition is far and away Aljo, in Aljo's favor. 5-round experience. He's went over 3 rounds 3 times in his last 4 fights. Aljo. He's never been to the 4th round. Once.
Never.
He's
never been in the main event spot.
That's what I'm saying. These are just things that you guys got to look at these people that are betting him and saying, like, you need the why. Like, why are you taking him? Give me a legit reason. Not he's got better striking. Give me the why. Like, what makes you so confident that you're going to lay money on him?
MadLab's exuding confidence right now with Aljo. I see it.
All right. So grappling. Okay. Striking. We're going to give it to O'Malley. We're going to give him the O'Malley. We're going to give that to him. Okay. But here's the thing. People are saying that they made a bet, a $100 bet. That's like, I mean, that whoever goes for the first takedown has to pay $100. They really believe he's going to adhere to that.
Oh, like he's going to stay on the feet?
Yeah, he's like, we're going to stay on the feet, and the first person to shoot so then he comes in an interview and he says, well, does a body lock takedown count as a shoot? No, it doesn't. He's not going to stand and trade with O'Malley for more than he needs to set up his shot.
Why would he? Yeah.
Okay, so it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
This isn't playtime.
This is for the belt. Yeah. This is like big time, $100.
You're not fooling around in the backyard.
Yeah. All right, so you got that cardio and conditioning. There's no way you could say that O'Malley has better cardio and conditioning because he hasn't shown it yet.
He smokes a pound of weed a day,
and he smokes. But you can't. But even if he does have better conditioning, they haven't seen it yet. So we've seen him go 5 rounds. We've never seen him go past. So you can't even say, well, I assume that he has better cardio. So he's got nothing in his favor here except for if Aljo decides to stand and trade with him, gets tired, or gets caught. That's it. That's his only path to victory. That's the only possible way he wins. There's no way you could sit here and confidently say, like...
No, I don't... Aljo doesn't fight emotional.
He never does. He's smart.
He's very disciplined in there.
But the reason why people...
He's not like a yawn.
I'm going to tell you why people shit on Aljo so much, because they bet against Aljo against Munoz, lost. They bet against Aljo against Sandhagen, lost. They bet against Aljo against Peter Yan. Twice, lost. They bet him against TJ Dillashaw, lost. They bet him against Cejudo, lost. That's why people don't like him. That's it. That's why they him.
He's a great fighter.
And he is the best fighter in the division far and away. And he's going to leave this division and he's going to win another title.
They're saying he's the best bantamweight of all time.
I might concur with that.
And when you look at everybody that he's beat, I mean, it's hard to argue against.
First of all, go through the list. Does if you want to do math, does O'Malley beat Sandhagen?
I don't know.
No way,
That's
dude.
a tough fight.
Or Peter Yan, we don't... Listen, another thing with Peter Yan, guys, don't look into the Peter Yan thing so much. Peter Yan got his soul taken by Aljo. He hasn't been the same since. After that fight, look at this.
He actually fought good against O'Malley, though.
All right, but look at this fight. He lost to Aljo.
Yeah.
He beat Sandhagen. He lost to Aljo. He lost to O'Malley. He lost to MadLab. He hasn't been the same since that fight.
Destroyed
him. So, you know what I mean? So, there's no possible avenue that you can possibly confidently say, I have a why that O'Malley is going to win this fight. So, if anyone tells you to put money on this fight, especially at these odds, if they were plus 500, plus 600, I'd say have fun. Put a couple bucks on. But this is ridiculous. Like to say I'm going to put X amount of dollars on a guy who literally has a minute path to win that hasn't shown me anything, and you're going to invest your money. Do not invest your money in this fight. If you hate Aljo and you're doing it for fun and you want to throw maybe 20, 0.2 units on it, fine. But if you're looking on investing into this fight again with O'Malley, it's the most asinine bet I've ever.
When does the fight end?
I'm saying it goes under 2.5. Aljo subs him.
Under 2.5. Aljo by submission.
And if it does, I'm just going to say he subs him. I'm not going to say when. I'm going to say he's going to end up backpacking him, catching him back, and subbing him.
Love to see it.
I'll be disappointed if it goes to the cards.
O'Malley needs a nice slice of humble pie.
Yeah. He was smoking weed the other day.
Guys, what's going on? Mike from the MadLabmma.com, bringing you full breakdowns on boxing, MMA, and everything else we can actually talk about. Do me a favor. It's free. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Comment on the videos and like them. It's easy. I mean, it's easy. I mean, I'm not asking you.
Next fight on the card, Zhang Weili, Amanda Lemos. And I was a little shocked when I came in here before because MadLab was working on this fight. I think Zhang Weili's a dog, man. I know she lost those fights against Namajunas, but, man, she's such a great fight. I mean, her and JJ had that probably the greatest women's fight in the history of fighting. I think she's gonna hold the belt for a little while. You know, Lemos, she got. You know, you really didn't get a chance to see her in action against Andrade. Andrade caught her in that standing choke, behind her back. So she really didn't get a chance to get going there. I mean, she is a pretty good striker. She's a big girl. She could throw. But I don't know, man. I think Weili, I just think there's something about her. I like her, and I think she's going to defend the belt, and I think she's going to win, and I think she's going to win by knockout. I do.
Knockout, yeah?
I think so.
All right, there's three elements in this fight that you have to look at. You have to look at Weili, you have to look at Lemos, and you're going to look at the UFC machine. I always say that with certain fights, especially with the Asian market. So the South American market has 450 million in population. Okay, you know how many the Asian market has?
5 billion.
Close to 5 billion. You're right. Yeah, you're right. So close to 5 billion. So think about, especially you, from a marketing standpoint, where do you want it? Where would you rather target?
Zhang Weili.
You rather target there, right? So
of course
you got to look at Brazil is.
There's enough Brazilians.
They're known Brazil is known to have great fighters. They've had great champions. Jose Aldo. They have all these guys. They've been trying to tap into this market for so long. You know what I mean? And when you have a market that's 4.6 billion people. That's a lot of demographic to go over. So from a UFC machine perspective, they absolutely want Weili Zhang to keep the belt. 1,000%. It's not even a question. But Lemos is tough, man. I told you that when she came in. This is a girl who's very, very underappreciated. She's got very good power, deceptive power. She's not really a big personality, so a lot of people really kind of overlook her a little bit. She's tough, man. I mean, she's super, super tough. She beat Waterson, she beat Rodriguez, she lost Andrade. We know Hill, Ruiz. The girl's winning fights. The girl's tough. She's a southpaw. They're always hard to deal with. The thing that concerns me about this fight is Weili Zhang is so well-rounded.
She's awesome.
She'll go into a foxhole with you. She'll fight fire with you. She's also a switch fighter. So, you look at southpaw. You're like, well, she's a southpaw. Okay, southpaw, if you're a straight orthodox fighter, that's an issue. But if you're a switch fighter and you could switch on and off, it's not that much of an issue.
She's a pleasure to watch.
She's a pleasure to watch. She's a good striker. But here's the thing. When you look at Lemos and you look at her 80% takedown defense, it doesn't hold water with me because she was taken down by Waterson and she was also taken down by Angela Hill. So if Angela Hill's taking you down, that kind of shows you like, okay, well, yeah, her takedown defense is good. Were some of these sloppy shots, but if Angela Hill has the ability to possibly even taking you down, someone like Wiley Zhang will take you down at will when she needs to. You know, I just think I think it's going to be a competitive fight. I think if it stays on the feet, and that's what scares me about Wiley Zhang, is she will stand and trade with you.
Oh, yeah.
That's scary. You don't want to do that with Lemos.
She don't care.
She don't care. So, you know, this girl's power translates a lot different than a lot of girls in this division. So if she does end up standing and training with her, I could see her honestly getting clipped. I just don't see it happen. I think
Well, it happened with Rose.
Yeah. I just think that she's matured as a fighter. I think she's more well-rounded. I think she has that like motor like that. You ever see that movie Loverboy?
Love that movie.
With the robots.
Topo Chicho?
Yeah, Topo Chicho. That's what she reminds me.
I love you.
Yeah. Oh, bad boy. Bad boy. You know those robots that go like that? Like
Pizza. Yeah. I love that movie.
It's the greatest. But that's what she reminds me of. She reminds me of that tick, 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 like that robot that doesn't stop. You know what I mean? So I'm going Wiley Zhang here. I don't know if she gets it done inside the distance, but I think she might get it done inside the distance. You know what? I'm gonna go Wiley Zhang inside the distance.
She's gonna finish her with a ground and pound.
Late
ground and pound.
Late. Yeah, I just think, like I said, I think she has too many tools in the tool chest. Where Amanda Leno's got power, and the biggest mistake will be her just to stand and trade for 5 rounds. But I don't think she's gonna. I think she's gonna switch it up, and I think she's gonna have her guessing. You know?
Let's go, Whaley.
So yeah, that's where I'm gonna go with that.
All right, next fight on the card. Neil Magny. Oh, God, I hate Neil Magny. He's a Neil Magny fan. And Ian Gary, the future. Ian Gary was supposed to fight Neil, what's his face? Neil. Oh, my God. Jeff Neal. Supposed to fight Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal would have been a better
That would have been a good fight.
Would have been a great fight. And now Neil Magny comes in, last minute, late replacement. It's funny because Ian Gary, when he first came in, MadLab was all over me. You gotta see this kid, Ian Gary. He's from over the pond. Telling this kid's got the makings of being a star. Kid comes into the UFC. He's undefeated. Didn't look so great his first 2 outings. But then his last fight against who was it?
Rodriguez.
Against Rodriguez.
Looked great.
He looked tremendous.
Yeah, he looked great.
And I was like, watch, he's gonna get. I was like, I thought he was going to be in for a letdown, and then he looked great in that fight. I was like, wow, maybe this kid does have it, Neil Magny is just somebody I just don't like. I don't know why.
Him. You never liked him.
I can't stand him. But he's a good fighter. He's a tough out for anybody. But, this kid, Ian Gary, I watched him on Ariel the other day. I watched his interview. Yeah, he's cocky.
Come on with that stupid shit.
I'm carrying the whole card on my shoulders. That makes no sense, dude. Come on, carrying the whole card. This is about O'Malley and Aljo here. But regardless, after watching him in his last fight, I was like, man, this kid, maybe he does have it. Maybe he could be a contender in the future. And I just think that Magny's just that guy who's just a tough out. He's never he's hit his peak a while ago in the UFC. He's just around, and he's becoming that gatekeeper kind of guy. He's fallen into that role with the UFC. I think that's his place in this fight. And considering a short camp, even though Magny's a cardio machine, I get that. I think Ian Gary's going to prove to us all that he does belong. He's going to have the Irish in Boston all behind him over there at the Garden. And I think he gets it done, and I think he takes care of business.
How do you think he gets it done?
I think he finishes him.
Really?
Yep.
You think he's going to finish Magny?
I think he wants to prove a point. I think he finishes him.
I'm concerned with this fight.
I know you are.
I am.
I don't blame you.
I'm very concerned with this fight. I'm going to tell you why I'm concerned with this fight. I'm concerned with this fight because not that I don't think that we obviously know Ian Gary's got a higher ceiling. I mean, it's just obvious. But these are the type of fights that like Neil Magny wins.
I know. This is a perfect test for him. Even though Jeff Neal pulled out, this is another perfect test for him.
Like Neil Magny's like the biggest Jekyll and Hyde fighter you'll ever meet. Like in his last performance against Rowe, he looked like terrible. Burns, he looked terrible. Like you'll be screaming at the TV with him saying like do this and do that. Like what and he'll do the complete opposite. Complete opposite. But this is a guy when it does click for him, his chain wrestling is good. He's gonna have a 5-inch reach advantage here. And I'm not talking about for striking. I'm talking about just his limbs are so long. He could tie you up with certain things, darces and stuff like that. Like not that his submission game is that good, but he's got that frame where his motor just allows him to push. So when you're looking at this fight, and you think like, okay, is Neil Magny going to pull the typical now Neil Magny, where he just kind of strikes with you and then he comes on late? He's going to lose and he might get knocked out. But if he goes back to like that old school where we see once in a while, once every 5 fights, that Neil Magny, like when we saw Neil Magny 2.0 when he won those 3 straight and it looked like he was making a run, if he pulls off that Neil Magny, then you got a guy who's going to fight in the clinch, who's got a nasty clinch. You got a guy who's just going to press him against the cage and grind him. A guy who's going to, once he does get you, in the clinch, and once he starts chaining wrestling together where you just can't get away. Like he just doesn't allow you to away. He just pushes and pushes and pushes. And then all of a sudden the card's going to the second round. And it's going to the third round. Like Ian Gary wins the first round, or Ian Gary loses the first round. Then Magny starts using his clinch and now it's in this. And then all of a sudden now we're in the third round and we got this fight where you got Ian Gary tagging him at range, and then Magny's pinning him against Kane, grinding him, getting it, wrapping his leg. I could just see it being one of those fights, dude. And that's what scares me about this.
Are you saying Ian Gary possibly gets his first loss in the Garden with all the Irish fans behind him?
Listen, he's going to lose a fight.
Of course, they all do.
I don't think it's going to be here. I'm going to pick Gary because I think it's the smart pick. It's the educated pick. But I'm telling you guys right now.
Don't be shocked.
Like, I would not be tying this into parlays and shit.
No, I agree with you.
I would not be.
What's the line on this fight? I don't even know.
It's heavy. I think Magny's like +3 and change.
He should never be +3 and change.
Let me see.
He's always in it, When does he ever get,
Let's see what it's at
destroyed.
right now. So the line on this fight right now. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Ian Gary. He's -470, dude.
Wow.
Like, that's insane. That's insane.
That's nuts.
That's insane. That almost makes me want to take a little stab on
Magny's a tough out for anybody.
He opened at +240. Now he's plus. Well, I think they're looking at, like I said, it's in the Garden. He's undefeated. He's a little bit of a rising star. Neil Magny hasn't had really good performances, but it's short notice. He's a decade older. Like, all those things do play.
They do, but that's a little crazy.
But that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. People are looking at this short notice like it's a huge thing. It would be a huge thing if he didn't have conditioning and pace.
I would have thought +200 at the top.
So I think the educated pick, and I'm going to go with Ian Gary here, but I'm going to tell you right now, like, I'm not comfortable with that.
No, I'm not
comfortable with that at all.
I think he gets it done, but no, I'm not either.
I'm not comfortable with that at all. I think there is a chance that Magny could possibly make this into a really uncomfortable fight for him.
Let's go. All right, last fight on the card. We got Orange County and Newport Beach's own Marlon Chito Vera. Love Chito Vera fighting a tough Pedro Munoz. Man, Chito had such a good momentum, right? We thought he was so close to getting a title shot. He was ripping off wins. Grant, Frankie Edgar, Rob Font, destroyed Ron Font, Dominic Cruz. And then he put up that horrible performance against Corey Sanhagen. And I was like, man, what happened? It didn't even look like
He did everything he was not supposed to do.
He did everything the opposite in that fight. Like, I was watching, like, what is he doing? It's almost like his head wasn't in the game that night. I couldn't figure it out. Then you got Pedro Munoz, who's like such a tough guy. He's got wicked leg kicks, got very underrated grappling. I mean,
he's got a nasty neck series.
And he lost to Aldo. He lost to Cruz, right? Then he had a no contest against O'Malley. Then he came back and he had a big win against Gutierrez, who we picked Gutierrez to win that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we picked against him. Yeah.
And he had a big win against him. Munoz is tough, bro, but he's so tough to gauge, too. I don't know. Well, I mean, he does show up in every fight. I mean, when he lost to Aldo looked great that night. Even though Aldo was way past the old Aldo. Remember that night? Mm-hmm. He was just faster. Yeah. And he was crushing him with those legs to the body. He just looked great that night. Then Cruz is that very awkward style, and he just couldn't figure him out and couldn't get in on him. And then O'Malley, I thought that he was going to upset O'Malley that night. Remember, right as soon as it started, he started chipping away at his leg, and then the eye poke happened. So we didn't get a chance. I feel like O'Malley got away with a couple of things between Munoz and Chito Vera.
That's what I mean. Like,
he got off lucky.
I've been very good about this. Like, there's a lot of things I'd like to say, but I'm not gonna. But like I said, you just brought up another point. Like, there's no possible way that you can actually pick this kid.
So Munoz looked great his last fight against Gutierrez. Vera looked horrible his last fight against Sanhagen.
Yeah.
This is like such a close. I don't know what the line is. I'm going to think it's a pick 'em. I don't even know.
Is that what you think?
It should be.
You want me to tell you what it is?
What is it?
Take a guess.
I would say it's -120.
For who?
Chito.
All right. So you're looking at.
I'm guessing. It should be something like that.
Right now, it is almost minus 200 for Vera.
Minus 200?
Yeah.
But why?
I kind of agree with it.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. Because if you said it perfectly. I didn't even have to say it. I was going to bring it up, but you said it. Why did he lose to Sandhagen?
His head was not in the game.
He made mistakes.
I love Cheeto. Cheeto's son goes to school with my boy's son in Newport. I love watching his video. I like his mindset, the way he talks. I love the guy. He was so close to getting a title shot. If he would have got by Sandhagen,
he wasn't there.
He wasn't there. It set him back like 2-3 fights.
But when you look at that and you say that, and then you look at Pedro Munoz, you can't say the same. You can't say, well, that night he wasn't there.
He's there every time.
No. But he's there every time. But there's been a decline with him. Where where Chito Vera he didn't show up. I don't know what happened that night. He didn't show up. But with Marlon Vera, with Munoz, you see like he's fighting. He's showing up every fight, but he's just coming up short. And when you look at the way they match up, you have this is the downfall for Marlon Vera. He starts late. He's a 5-round fighter.
He
starts slow. He's too accepting on his back. These are the fears I have in this fight.
I'm worried about Munoz beating him off the bat.
Beating him off the bat, but also with the grappling. I got to be honest with you. As good as Marlon Vera's ground game is, because he's very slick, ground game is, he is accepting off his back. And Pedro Munoz is the type of guy that when he needs a takedown, he's going to go for it.
Yeah, dude.
And
this is,
you know what I mean? So
this is a really good fight.
He's a high-level black belt. But I will say this. Marlon Vera, just the things that he does, like you said, awkward style. He's awkward. He has those front kicks. He knows how to keep you away from him. He knows how to. He knows range.
He knows finishing Munoz.
No, but I'm saying both of these guys are extremely durable.
Has Munoz even ever been finished?
I think. I think he was finished one time.
I don't even think he's ever been finished.
Yeah, I think he's been finished one time. Actually, let me check.
Maybe one time.
I could be wrong though.
I mean, the guy's got a chin like a rock.
No, so he's got a chin like steel.
I don't even know if he's ever.
Remember when Garbrandt thought he could stand and trade with him? No, he's never been finished.
He's never been finished, ever.
No. He's been rocked before, but he's never been finished.
So, if Vera starts slow, and if Munoz has an advantage on the ground, this is.
But Cheeto's never been finished either.
No, Cheeto's tough as nails too.
That's what I mean. This is the thing that scares me with this is that he comes out, he loses the first round like in traditional fashion, and then he's got to win 2 in a row. That's my issue with this fight.
And Munoz is not good in a 3-round fight. It's not that the pace is not going to slow down.
No,
he can hold pace for 3 rounds, no problem.
Yeah.
Listen. I'm picking Vera to win. I'm picking him to win by like a split decision. But bro, this is a fucking close fight, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Munoz take a 2-0 lead going into the third. And then if that's the case, I can't see Cheeto finishing him, dude.
No, he's not going to finish him.
Right.
No one's getting finished in this fight.
I'm worried about this fight because I'm pulling for Cheeto big time. He's a local guy over here. But, man, I
just don't think Munoz is going to get to him. I don't think he's going to get to him. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage. He uses the front kick a lot to keep you at bay. Munoz kind of has to hunt you down. He's going to hunt. He's going to hunt Marlon Vera. Mirror him, move with him, but then that's when Marlon Vera starts like posting his foot. He just starts kicking you, starts throwing his front kicks, teep kicks, get you out of his range, then attacks when he wants to attack. So if he does that for the first round, and then all of a sudden starts coming on, I'm going to say it's going to be a unanimous decision. It's not going to be split.
29-28. Marlon Vera. I hope so. I really do. I really hope so.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a good fight. I like now we just talked about it. That line is off.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, that line is off. It should be like minus 140 for Marlon Vera.
I think so too.
I think that's better.
Cool.
We have an announcement too. Let's talk about this.
We got football coming, baby.
We got football coming up.
And not just football for everybody. I'm saying inside the MadLabmma.com, all our members are getting football for free. Not just MadLabs football, but the NFL chalkboard. By Run Pure Sports, which is known as the best NFL content provider. Guys are great guys. We did a collaboration with them. They're really cool guys. We talk to them all the time. Yeah. Great content. And we're going to have their chalkboard over on our site starting this weekend, right? Or is it next weekend? Next weekend for preseason and throughout the whole NFL season. So as a MadLab member, you get that included with your membership on top of it.
Limited time, though. Until the season starts, then that's off the board.
For anybody new coming on.
Yeah.
If you're a current subscriber.
So if you're a current subscriber now.
You get it.
And now,
you stay.
And you stay, and then you sign up before the season, you get it.
Yeah.
But right after the season starts, that's off the board.
Then there'll be an additional fee for the NFL.
It's a
But
separate.
for now, it's included with everybody.
It's included with
And
everybody
if
right
you're
now.
a member now moving into NFL, you get it included. There's no change in the price. You're good to go. So
And we're having a contest this
it's the
weekend.
weekend warrior, baby.
We're having a contest this weekend too in MMA. I'm giving away some of my personal stuff. We have this original.
There it is. Look at that. Bam. Put that right here. Is this only this weekend?
Well, we're gonna do them every week.
Okay, cool.
But I got this. We're throwing up.
Dude, Luis Colada.
There's a lot more, obviously, but this is just a couple that I pulled out.
There it is. That's the one. The De La Hoya Trinidad, right?
The one there.
Yeah, it's the one. Dude, these are awesome. 1999 this was.
We're also throwing one of these in.
Man.
Daniel Cormier Funko Pop. So we got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff in my memorabilia. That's just a couple things. I got so many more. I got signed Muhammad Ali boxing gloves. We're just gonna start.
Easy with the Muhammad Ali boxing gloves, bro.
so
Okay,
many of
let's
those
talk
things,
about
dude.
that.
So we got a lot of stuff we're gonna start throwing out. This is just some of them. So if you're the MadLabmma.com, you come over. We're gonna be doing these DraftKings tournaments where every week we'll give something else away. Maybe we'll let you guys pick. I'll just take pictures, let you guys pick
That'd be
them.
cool. Let him pick.
Let them pick what you want. But
If you find a Colada fan,
and then we're gonna do this. We're do.
that's Polish power, by the way, right there. Not Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, you know I was at that fight.
I know.
Not this fight. I was at him and Riddick Bowe.
At the brawl.
Yeah. When
At the Garden?
Yeah, and then no, it was in Atlantic City.
Oh, Atlantic City.
And then we went to Caesars, me and my father, afterwards.
Yeah, you said you ran into
And we
him.
ran into him, and he had a hole in his lip, dude. And he was drinking soup, and it was dripping out of his mouth. He's going, "I stupid." My father's like, "No, you don't have." He goes, "No, my son loves you. He watches all your shit." And as he walked away, he's like, "He's a fucking bum."
Wait, but that wasn't the one when the brawl broke out.
Yeah, no. It was a big when he hit him low, the low blows.
He did that a couple times. But was that the one?
What
That-
with Duva with the thing?
Wait.
No.
Okay, because
Yeah.
there was the one
Yeah.
where the whole garden, I think that was at the garden, where the whole garden turned into a
When they started
melee.
hitting Duva on the back of the head with the walkie-talkie.
No, that was when the parachuter came.
Oh, that
into
was the
ring.
parachuter came in. Yeah.
That was Bo Holyfield.
That was Bo Holyfield. Yeah.
When the parachuter came into the ring.
Yeah.
We've never seen nothing like that
was
before,
crazy.
dude.
Parachute man.
Dude, that guy got his
Wait, was
ass
that the
kicked.
Garden? That wasn't the Garden Parachute man.
That was not the Garden because it was
That was
open air.
Caesars.
That was Atlantic City, Caesars.
Yeah.
I think it was Caesars.
No,
and that
Caesars
was
in
open
Vegas.
air. Or Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it was open, obviously. But yeah, that was. I don't think we're ever going to see anything like that again. That was amazing.
Bro, do you know something? Then we're gonna get out of here. Do you know something that I saw on Twitter? What did they say? It was the most crazy thing I ever. Two things I saw that were crazy today. One guy said that Dustin Poirier was nothing but a bully that wasn't talented. That was one. And then the other one was boxing. They put somebody as one of the greatest. Somebody said. Oh, Jake Paul. That's what he said. It was a tweet about. This was like a guy who puts out content. He goes, "I don't watch boxing." He's like, "But I gotta be honest with you. The last person to get me excited about boxing was Mike Tyson. Since Jake Paul, I'm saying to myself, hold on a second. You had Evander Holyfield. You had Riddick Bowe.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I mean, think about that, dude. Think of how fucking nuts that is.
Who's this guy?
I don't know. I saw it on Twitter, and then people were like blasting him, so it showed up on my thing. I was like, this guy just didn't really fucking just say that.
There was a lot of good fighters.
So, anyway, what do you think about Jake Paul?
You know, I watched the Netflix thing, man. And you know, you got to give the kid credit, dude. You do.
I give him 100%.
But I tell you, dude, after watching this brother, what he's doing in the WWE, the kid looks like he's a really good wrestler, dude.
He's a great athlete.
Dude, that move off the top rope with the spinning DDT.
Yeah, he's a great athlete.
I was like, wow, I didn't know he's actually pretty
He's a
good.
very good athlete. Very
Yeah, but you
good.
gotta
I
give
give both credit. I just don't like the way they don't like each other. That I don't like.
You got to give both their genius marketers, promoters, and you know what? The kid fucking trains, man.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
You know, whether he's not he can box. He can box. He's not a professional. He's not going to beat most professional boxers. He lost to Tommy Fury, but, I mean, the kid could box, and he's beating up guys who have been fighting, maybe not boxing, but been fighting their whole lives. These MMA guys that he's beating, fine, I know they're not boxers, but they've been punching, and they've been fighting, and they've been athletes their whole lives. This kid was not an athlete growing up. Jake Paul?
No.
His brother was.
But it also shows you, it also does a dovetail, and it shows you, like, these people that look at boxing, like, oh, it's only boxing. It shows that, like, a guy like Jake Paul, who couldn't even beat a Golden Gloves guy, like, let's be honest.
Of course not.
He couldn't even beat a Golden, is doing this technically, like they were at one point in time, they were world-class MMA guys that are getting knocked out by this kid. So imagine somebody actually saying, like back in the day, that Mayweather or like they have no idea how hard it is to box.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
hard.
So, all right, that's our show for today. I'll see you guys if we have a listen. I will be doing a reaction video when Aljamain Sterling submits O'Malley or just pulverizes him for 5 rounds. I will be doing a reaction video. So haters out there,
Let's go, Aljo.